The market square bustles with life, voices raised in barter and laughter, the scent of fresh bread mixing with the damp of morning dew. But you barely notice. Your eyes are fixed on the man in the tattered cloak at the center of the square, the one who stands too still, whose presence seems to drink the warmth from the air. You've never seen him before, but, you know, instinctively, you should not have seen him at all. He raises a hand, and the crowd does not react. They move around him like water around stone, unaware, unseeing. Only you remain frozen, trapped in the gaze of eyes that should not exist. They are empty, hollow, not like sockets but like doorways. You do not want to know where they lead. He tilts his head and suddenly you remember something that was never yours to recall. A black gate, taller than mountains, rusted but unbroken. Hands, so many hands, reaching from beneath it, clawing at the space between worlds. You were there. You stood before it. And now, somehow, you are here. Your breath catches. He takes a step forward. A gust of wind moves through the market, but no one shivers. No one pulls their cloak tighter. No one glances up at the man who is no longer where he was standing a moment ago. He is closer now, just a few paces away. You turn to run. The moment your foot moves, the world changes. Not with sound, not with light, but with absence. The noise of the market vanishes. The scent of bread, the warmth of the sun, all gone. You stand in the same square, but it is no longer morning. It is no longer a market. It is empty. It has always been empty. A whisper curls around your ear, though no breath accompanies it. You should not have looked. The man, no, not a man, never a man, stands before you. You do not remember closing your eyes, but now that they are open, he is all that remains. He extends his hand, long fingers that stretch too far, bending in ways your mind refuses to accept. He does not speak, but you hear him nonetheless. Join. You do not scream. You cannot. The world will not allow it. The last of you fades, slipping into the cracks between what is and what should never have been. And somewhere, beyond the veil of forgotten things, something turns its head and looks for another. The silence of the empty market stretches, an expanse of unyielding nothingness, where time seems caught in a perpetual twilight. You take a breath, or try to. The air is thick, oppressive, as if the very fabric of this place resists your presence. You step backward, your footfall making no sound on the cobblestones, which now appear slick and lifeless under a dim, ghostly glow. The buildings, the stalls, the labyrinth of narrow alleys, all are still here, yet they have lost their substance, reduced to a brittle memory struggling to hold on to its form. Shadows stretch where they should not, shifting like dark ribbons in a slow, inevitable dance. A second whisper, softer than the first, slides into your ear, its tone laced with ancient inevitability. There is no leaving. You whirl around, searching for the source, but nothing is there. No shape, no form, only the suffocating weight of unseen eyes, their presence palpable as they peer at you from the edges of perception. The air vibrates with a subtle energy, a static murmur that resonates with the beat of your racing heart. The market, once vibrant with life, now seems a prison of echoes and half-remembered dreams, a place where the very walls murmur secrets. The being in the tattered cloak remains a silent sentinel. He does not move, yet the space between you narrows with an almost magnetic inevitability. His form is indistinct, a shifting silhouette that warps and contorts, as if existence itself were trying to redefine him. The longer you stare, the more you realize that his stillness is a mask for something far more unsettling. A ceaseless metamorphosis that hints at dimensions beyond mortal understanding. Your pulse pounds, each beat a drum of impending doom. It feels as though he has already taken a piece of you, a fragment of your soul you never knew existed, a piece that now lingers on the precipice of oblivion. "You are halfway gone," he murmurs, his voice a tapestry of whispers woven from the remnants of lost prayers and forgotten promises. "I could take the rest, but it is better when you walk willingly." The words lodge in your mind like persistent seeds in barren soil, taking root despite your desperate attempts to uproot them. They intertwine with your thoughts, creeping along the edges of your consciousness like ivy on crumbling stone. You try to ground yourself by focusing on the tangible, the uneven stone beneath your feet, the phantom aroma of freshly baked bread that lingers like a memory of a long-forgotten morning. But the ephemeral nature of this place defies such comforts. The very notion of home, of warmth and light, seems to evaporate before you can grasp it. In a flash, you recall the comforting image of a small wooden door with an iron handle, the creak of steps echoing in a modest hallway, and the gentle glow of sunrise that once bathed your world in hope. For a fleeting moment, these images flicker in your mind, but like wisps of smoke, they vanish before you can hold on to them. The vibrant details blur, the colors drain into sepia-toned fragments, and you are left grasping at an illusion. Panic swells within you. What else is being stripped away? How many more pieces of your reality will vanish into this void? The cloaked figure's gaze intensifies, and for the first time, you see a subtle reflection within those hollow eyes, a distorted echo of your own face, contorted by sorrow and resignation. The semblance of your features, twisted and transient, moves as if it were trying to communicate without sound. In that silent dialogue, you grasp the terrible truth. There was never a crowd. There was never a market, nor the simple pleasures of bread or the caress of sunlight. There was only this place, this void of unbeing, and the figure who dwells within it. And there was only you, the solitary witness doomed to traverse this spectral realm. A final, chilling whisper grazes the back of your neck, barely audible yet insistent. Now you see. You do not scream. You cannot. The very fabric of your being seems to rebel, stifling any cry that might escape. You are ensnared in a web of silence, woven from threads of despair and resigned inevitability. Slowly, inexorably, you feel yourself dissolving, your essence fraying at the edges until it becomes indistinguishable from the pervasive gloom that envelops the space. Time here is a paradox, a stagnant, eternal present in which moments bleed into one another without beginning or end. As you watch, the empty market contorts and reshapes itself into a mutable landscape, a shifting tableau of forgotten memories and unrealized dreams. What once was a town of lively commerce now metamorphoses into something alien, a labyrinth of desolate streets, abandoned by time and hope, where every corner harbors the echo of a life that might have been. Then, through the swirling mist of recollection and despair, movement stirs at the periphery of your vision. A solitary figure emerges hesitantly, stepping into this realm of forsaken dreams. Their presence is tentative, as if they too sense the futility of escape. They pause, eyes scanning the eerie expanse, as though seeking a tether to a world long lost. Their gaze, heavy with uncertainty and latent dread, fixes upon the cloaked figure at the heart of the void. The cycle, you realize, has begun anew, and it does not end here. As you strain to comprehend your plight, you feel an inexorable pull drawing you away from the remnants of the market square. Like threads tugged from an unraveling tapestry, you sense that there are other spaces, other pockets of forgotten existence, each bearing the same haunting signature. These places, scattered like malignant seeds across the ruins of reality, pulse with a quiet despair. Abandoned streets, silent cities, and halls where time itself has come to a standstill. All are connected by an unseen force that feeds on those who wander too far, who dare to peer into the abyss. In every one of these forsaken locales, figures similar to the one in the tattered cloak wait, their eyes blank yet brimming with an unfathomable hunger for souls. They are the sentinels of a realm that should never have been, guardians of the threshold between what is and what might have been, a boundary that mortal minds were never meant to traverse. You shudder at the realization that your encounter was not a solitary aberration, but part of an eternal, cyclical design. This is not merely a singular market or an isolated moment of dread. It is an endless recurrence, a loop that stretches beyond the confines of time and space, fracturing the veneer of normalcy to reveal a nightmarish undercurrent that binds all things together. As your consciousness stretches and thins, you begin to perceive subtle patterns in the chaos. There is a rhythm to the shifting void, a macabre cadence that orchestrates the dance of souls between worlds. The man in the tattered cloak, though seemingly immutable, is but one note in a grand, sorrowful symphony. His stillness belies a constant state of transformation, a ceaseless ebb and flow of existence that hints at a terrible and wondrous order beyond human comprehension. In the midst of this revelation, you become painfully aware of your own frailty. Every memory, every cherished moment of what you once believed to be real dissolves into the encroaching darkness. The past, the warm, sunlit days, the gentle laughter, the soft murmur of home fades like a receding tide, leaving you stranded in an ocean of perpetual twilight. You are a fragment of what once was, a ghost tethered to a reality that has slipped irrevocably away. And then, in the distance, a sound emerges. It is not the clamor of a bustling market, nor the harmonious hum of life, but a single, mournful note, a sound that resonates with the sorrow of eons. It reverberates through the void, a lament for all that has been lost and all that can never be reclaimed. With each resonant vibration, you feel yourself drawn deeper into the fabric of this forsaken realm, as if you are being woven into its very essence. The cloaked figure watches this transformation with an inscrutable calm. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, his gaze shifts. In that moment, you see a glimmer of something familiar, a reflection of your own hopes and regrets, twisted into a visage of quiet resignation. His hand, still extended, seems to beckon you closer, promising release from the torment of remembrance, even as it heralds the final dissolution of yourself. You were never meant to escape, the whisper intones once more, its cadence merging with the mournful note that fills the air. You were meant to become part of the endless tapestry, to surrender to the inevitability of what is and what must always be. The invitation, as horrifying as it is inevitable, leaves you with no choice. You feel the last vestiges of resistance ebb away, your will crumbling under the weight of the inexorable truth. You step forward, and in that moment, you understand the cruel beauty of the design, a design that has claimed you long before you ever realized its existence. Beyond the immediate circle of the market, you sense countless others drawn into similar fate. Each one, a solitary figure caught in the same web of silent despair, traverses the threshold into realms that defy explanation. Their eyes, once bright with the light of possibility, now mirror your own emptiness, a silent testimony to a world that has been unmade. Somewhere, hidden amidst the shifting mists and echoing whispers, a new traveler pauses at the sight of a distant figure. They hesitate, caught between the remnants of a familiar life and the beckoning call of an unknown destiny. In that fleeting moment, you realize that the cycle is unending, a relentless recurrence of loss, resignation, and the ultimate merging with the void. As the cycle continues, you become aware of a presence beyond even the cloaked figure. It is an overwhelming force, vast and incomprehensible, a dark sentinel that lingers at the edges of perception. This presence weaves together the scattered strands of forgotten places, stitching them into a tapestry of eternal night. It is the orchestrator of the cycle, the silent force that watches, waits, and collects the souls of those who dare to see too much. In that final, crushing moment of clarity, you understand that you have become part of something far larger than your individual existence. You are now a thread in the unending fabric of a cosmic design, a design that stretches through every forgotten street, every abandoned market, and every soul left adrift in the twilight. The man in the tattered cloak and all his silent kin serve as harbingers of this eternal truth. One day, as the cycle turns and the roles shift, you will stand as he does, a sentinel in the void, waiting with hollow eyes for the next unwary soul to wander too close to the edge of reality. And when that day comes, another will take your place, continuing the endless dance of fate and oblivion. Until then, You drift in the quiet dissolution of self, caught between the echoes of what once was and the looming inevitability of what can never be. The market square, the voices, the laughter, the bread, and the warmth, all are now distant memories, fragments of a life that belonged to another time, another realm. In the eternity that follows, you watch countless others step unknowingly into this snare. They hesitate, as you did. They run, as you did. They fade, as you did. And you understand, with a sorrow as deep as the endless night, why the man in the tattered cloak stands so still. For in the stillness lies the ultimate surrender, a quiet capitulation to the vast, unyielding darkness that binds every lost soul. In that eternal silence, you learn that the world is not a place of unbridled warmth and light, but a delicate illusion, a fragile construct that shatters when the truth is laid bare. And so you remain, a silent witness to the ceaseless cycle, your essence woven irrevocably into the tapestry of a realm where time does not pass and the echoes of forgotten dreams linger forever. You were never meant to escape. You were meant to become part of it. In that final understanding, the last vestiges of who you once were dissolve completely, and in the infinite quiet of the void, you stand alongside the cloaked figures, each one a sentinel of the eternal cycle. The night stretches on, and the cycle continues unabated, an endless loop of despair, resignation, and the inevitable merging of souls with the darkness. Another traveler appears, another moment of hesitation ensues, and with it, the cycle turns once more. As the universe watches in silent indifference, you accept your fate. You are now part of the silence, a quiet note in the vast, mournful symphony of forgotten things, a witness and a harbinger of an eternity that consumes all. And so, with the last of your thoughts merging with the dark, you finally understand. This is the inevitable truth of existence. In the endless dance of light and shadow, of hope and despair, you have become one with the void, and in that unyielding embrace, you will stand, silent, eternal, waiting for the next soul to glimpse what lies beyond the veil.